What's up, everybody? This is Brian.
And I'm Logan, and this is Tops.
Sup.
And this is Bottoms. Sup. And this is Triples. Sup. Wow.
Whoa.
God. And we're Crush Cards. Hi, team. Happy Wednesday, my wonderful World Legacy Generator friends.
Wow, that was a stretch.
Sorry, it's Wednesday and generators is hard.
So this is one of those deck profiles that we have been talking about and hyping up for a very long time. After testing and playing with this deck for a couple weeks now, this is probably one of my brand new favorite decks. This deck is a mid-range deck. It has a lot of combos, but it also plays control really easily. For any of you guys who are not familiar with the Generator strategy, it focuses around a really powerful field spell, level 9s, and allowing your opponent to draw cards and getting benefits off of that. Which I know sounds a little weird, but trust me, stick around for the deck profile in the combo section and you'll see how busted it really is.
But before we get into that, I just wanted to make a little announcement that we have new field centers in. They're super limited edition exclusive Eldritch Tops field centers. As you can see, Tops is in the little Eldritch getup. He's cosplaying. He's having a good time. These were designed by the lovely Jane, otherwise known as the Ultimate OCG. She was kind enough to make this design for us, and we kind of just slapped it into a field center, and it looks great.
It's perfect.
So if you would like one, we have a very limited supply. It can be yours, all of its prismatic beauty. Links are in the description box down below for our PayPal. Just make sure you say that you're getting this field center and leave your name and address, and we will get that right out to you. But yeah, this can be yours. Isn't that cool? I think so.
That being said, before we get into this deck profile, if you guys are not already a subscriber, feel free to go down and hit the subscribe button, throw this video a like,
and comment your best alliteration down in the comments below, because I want to have some alliteration on this Wednesday, so drop it. We also have an Instagram. It's at CrushCardsYGO. We're on there all the time, answering messages, posting posts, stories, the whole shebang. It's a great time. It's Instagram. Highly recommend going and following it. We also have a super wholesome Discord community. It's absolutely bopping. It's a good time. We play with the bot all the time. We Photoshop tops onto things, and we talk about anime, food, life, and all things all together. And then last but not least, if you want to further support the channel, we have a Patreon. We have some of the best benefits in the Yu-Gi-Oh community. We put up bloopers at the end of every month, which is coming very soon. So if you want to see all of the bloopers from this month, feel free to go check out the Patreon, because it's well worth it. But if not, we're just happy you're here.
Awesome, so let's get right into this deck.
Let's generate some big bodies.
Wow. Thanks, Bottoms.
No problem, Dad.
So starting out for the best play starter in any Generator deck, we are playing triple copies of Girsu, the Orcust Mech Knight. This is a very, very strange Generator card, but it is actually probably the best Generator card. Generators is one of those strategies that got released in the Mystic Fighter set, but needed a supplemental engine to kind of make it function. So this is the engine that everyone is playing. This is the strongest way to get to your combo. We will once again demonstrate that towards the end of the video, but Girsu says that if this card is normal summon, you can send one Orcust or World Legacy card from your deck to the graveyard. Then if there are 2 or more cards in this column, this card is treated as a tuner. You never use the tuner effect. We're not even playing Needle Fiber. Believe it or not, this is a deck you can play without Needle Fiber. It's actually really fun. It's really cool. And then the other really cool thing is that if you control no other monsters, you can special summon 1 World Legacy token to both player sides of the field. So that's really cool. This card just becomes a free link too, and it just helps you get your play started. And he's Euro print. Look at my little Euro print man.
Wow.
So dark.
Remember when that card was $80?
Heck yeah, me too. And speaking of Orcust and Mech Knights and World Legacies, if you guys haven't already seen the lore, we have a link right here to it. We did the entire lore.
It's my baby. I really value that video a lot. It kind of is my whole heart and soul. It means a lot to me. I worked really hard on it, and I have more lore coming soon. Feel free to comment what lore you'd like me to do next. I think everyone wants me to do Sky Striker, but you know. Speaking of World Legacy, we're playing 1 World Legacy World Armor.
Yeah, this card is literally just a combo piece. This is the only brick in the deck. This is very, very unfortunate. If you draw this card, this is the card that you want to send off of your Girsu. So you basically normal summon Girsu, send this to the graveyard, you get your whole play started. But the main reason that you play this is because it is a World Legacy monster in your graveyard, so it makes your Lib Link 2 live. And when this card is special summoned, you get to add any World Legacy card from your deck to your hand. So we were playing a few targets. It's really strong, but this card opening, don't open this card. Don't ever open this card. It's terrible to open this card.
Oh my god. Wow, we're playing 2 Condemned Witch. Isn't that crazy how this mat is the Condemned Witch? Oh my god.
Isn't that cool? If you guys like this mat, by the way, you can get it in the links in the description box down below. At Imperium DUELIST, we also have a discount code, which is CrushCards10. Maybe case sensitive, but you can grab this double-sided mat. We will show the other side during the combo. It is so cool, and it is just so fitting for this deck profile.
Very soft. Very nice, very soft, very
cloth.
cute.
Oh,
Got tour guide and Sane
perfect.
Gainer down here. You can't see them, but this is one of our favorite mats. We highly recommend it. And if you haven't already, feel free to snag one of our Melffy Tops playmats that we just came out with, also on Imperium Duelist. Look at all the fun things we're plugging for you. You're welcome.
So Condemned Witch is really spicy in this deck because it says when this card is normal summoned, you can add one forbidden quick play spell from your deck to your hand. And now we used to only have one target for that, but now we have two, which is really nice. So that's awesome. You basically get to search Interruption. And the cool part about this is even if it does get like Impermed or Veilered or like Ashed or any of that stuff, it has a secondary effect or quick effect. During your opponent's main phase, you can tribute this card and special summon one level 4 fairy monster from your deck. So even if this card gets stopped, you still have an additional effect off of it, which is why this card is so incredible.
Speaking of fairy monsters, we're playing Triple Lopter. If there's a proper way to pronounce these names, please
Yeah,
help us because Brian's gonna butcher all of them.
Yeah,
so.
I'm really bad at pronunciation.
Pray
I
for us.
apologize. But yeah, Lopter is the best Generator normal summon in the deck. If you do not open Gearsu, this is the best card to open next to it. But Lopter says that you can only control one of himself, and then all Generator monsters you control gain 1,000 attack and defense during your opponent's turn only. So really cool because this deck functions around special summoning tokens, which are Generator monsters, so it boosts them up while he's face up on the field. The other really cool effect that this card has is during the main phase, quick effect, you contribute one Generator monster and then special summon one level 9 Generator monster with a different name from your deck. This can basically just get you access to any of your Generator monsters on your opponent's turn. This card gets you anything and everything. So we maximize on Lopter, and then we are only playing double copies of Condemned Witch because Condemned Witch is kind of like the Searcher. You don't want to brick. This deck already plays a bunch of level 9s, which are like things that you can't really get out of your hand often. So we just wanted to play 8 normal summons. This seems to be like the sweet spot in the deck. So moving on into our big generators.
Har, mateys.
Wow.
This isn't Plunder Patrols, but his name certainly makes it feel that way.
Yeah, we're playing triple copies of Har. I know this is probably like a little controversial. Most Generator decks only play 2, but in testing the combo variant of this deck, the third one does come up often, and you kind of burn your first one to make one of your rank 9 plays anyways. We're only playing one Hela. Spoiler, so like getting this back, it's not super crucial. We'd rather just get another one out of the deck, but this card is insane. How this is only a super rare is just beyond me, but Har's effect is that you can only control one Har, and then once per turn, if your opponent adds a card from their deck to their hand, except during the draw phase, quick effect, you can make your opponent send one monster from their hand or field to the graveyard. So you basically just rip a card out of your opponent's hand. It's really strong. And as we said, this deck kind of functions on having your opponent drawing cards or adding cards from their deck to their hand so that you can just trigger all of your boss's effects regardless. And then the other effect, as if this card wasn't busted enough, is that when a card or effect is activated, quick effect, you contribute 2 generators and or a spellcaster type monster, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. So this is a spellcaster, and then obviously your tokens will be generators, so you contribute this and a token or 2 tokens and then just negate the activation of anything. It's really strong. This is your Omni Negate. It just stops anything and everything. And then for the rest of our Generator monsters, we are playing the 1 Hela, the 1 copy of Nidhogg, the 1 Udgara, and then the 1 Mardell. We only wanted to play these at 1 because, as we said, these are level 9s. They are relatively bricky, but they all have their own utility in the deck. Hela basically allows you as a quick effect to tribute 1 Generator or zombie monster, which is basically itself, to special summon any Generator monster or zombie monster from your graveyard back to your side of the field. Nidhogg is if your opponent would special summon a monster, quick effect, you could tribute 1 Generator monster or worm monster, which is once again itself, negate the summon and then destroy that card. Udgara is basically the same thing. You could tribute 2 Generator monsters or itself and another Generator monster to banish any card on the field. It does target, but it's still just banishing. And then Mardell just searches any Generator card. You get access to any of these throughout the combo extremely easily, so playing them at 1 is totally fine. And then for our honorary Generator boss monsters,
We have 2 Trias Hierarchia. Hierarchia.
I think that's how you say it.
Trias Hierarchia.
Yeah, you play 2 of this guy. It's a level 9. It's a common out of Eternity Code, and it says during the main phase, if this card is in your hand or graveyard, quick effect, you contribute up to 3 fairy monsters and special summon this card, but banish it once it leaves the field. Then you can apply the following effects in sequence depending on the number of tributed monsters. So 2 or more destroy 1 card your opponent controls, or 3 or more you draw 2 cards. So if you tribute 3 fairy monsters, monsters, not only do you get to pop a card on the field, you get to draw 2 and special summon this to your side of the field. This card is just like absolutely insane. Once again, super bricky with a bunch of level 9s in the deck, so we're only playing it at 2. You can just get this out of your deck whenever you want also. So this card at 2 is absolutely perfect, and we just run it at 2 for the utility and for the draw power.
Here's an absolutely whack field spell that I can't believe really exists in the game.
Yeah, we're playing it at 4.
And terraforming.
Wow. My name's Logan. Yeah, okay, hot take. I honestly think this is probably the most busted field spell to ever be created in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, I know I'm a Zombie World fan and I know I love zombies, but like, this field spell is literally unfreaking real. It's got like 85 effects. And it's like, it's secret rare. It's just like, it just looks super clean too. But Generaider Boss Stage says, once per turn, if a card is added from the main deck to your opponent's hand, except the damage step, that includes their draw phase, you can special summon one Generaider monster from your deck in defense position. So when your opponent, when you pass to your opponent and they draw for turn, you basically just get to special summon anything from your deck to your side of the field because they entered their draw phase. It's freaking nutty. And then it gets even more disgusting because if you special summon a Generaider monster during your opponent's turn, except during the damage step, you can special summon as many Generaider tokens, Fairy Light level 4, attack 1500, defense 1500 as possible in attack position, but destroy them during the end phase. And then once again, in parentheses, this effect still resolves even if this card were to leave the field. This is just ridiculous. This allows you to get anything you want and then just flood the board with a bunch of monsters. It's unreal. It's freaking so good. This is the heart and soul of this deck. I feel like field spell decks, when Konami makes them, like, they just revolve around the field spell, and this is obviously no exception. Like, this card is freaking ridiculous. So we played it as many copies as we can.
Wow.
And then onto our rank 9 engine, or level 9 engine, we are playing triple copies of World Legacy Monstrosity. This card just basically says, target a level 9 monster you control and then special summon from your deck 2 level 9 monsters, each with different original types, but then you basically just destroy them during the end phase. It doesn't matter, you're going to be overlaying them. Or realistically, like mid to late game, you can just special summon a level 9 monster from your hand and it's not destroyed. So either 1 from your hand for free that you get to keep, or 2 from your deck that you get to lose at the end phase. But like, once again, you're making overlay 9 plays. It doesn't really matter. So this card is awesome. We played it 3, even though it is searchable, because as I said, it is an extender. So once you have all these freaking level 9s in your hand, you can just get them out and get huge bodies on field to just continue to play for free.
And then because we are playing the 2 Condemned Witch, we are playing triple Forbidden Expenses, because we're poor now. And then 1 Forbidden Chalice, because these are really good cards and they're literally searchable, and this card's absolutely bonkers right now.
So in this deck, we did have a flex spot, which you will see next. It was either Called by the Grave or Impermanence. We chose to go with Called by the Grave because if your Gearsu gets stopped, you basically can't play the game. So Forbidden Droplets, not only, once again, as Logan said, is it searchable, but it says send any number of other cards from your hand or field to the graveyard. Choose that many effect monsters your opponent controls. Also, until the end of this turn, their attack is halved and their effects are negated. Your opponent cannot respond with the type of card that you basically discarded. So if you discard a spell and a monster, your opponent cannot respond to this card with monster or spell effects. They can only respond with traps. But if you discard all 3, your opponent cannot respond at all, and you get to have their attacks and just negate their effects until the end of the turn. This card is basically an impermanence that your opponent can't respond to. So it's so really, really good. It is extremely expensive. So for all of you budget players out there, we recommend maybe playing the 3 copies of Forbidden Chalice and 1 copy of Droplets, or just the 3 copies of Forbidden Chalice. This is a 41 card deck. Love 41. So if you really want to just cut this down to the 3 Chalice, that's totally fine. But like, I will say, these 4 make this deck so much more competitive.
This is basically just a built-in Makaba.
Yeah,
because
it
you
really
can
is.
just use monster, spell, or trap to basically shut off whatever
it's the
you need.
spell version of Makaba, and in this deck it's nuts because it's searchable thanks to our little friend right here.
Amazing.
Wow. And for any of you guys who don't know, Forbidden Chalice also says target 1 face-up monster on the field. To the end of the turn, the target gains 400 attack, but their effects are negated. So you can bump your opponent's cards 400 attack, but you also negate them. So it's like effect veiler and permanence. It's kind of what this is.
And then, as we just said, we don't want to lose because of our Gearsu getting stopped, so triple Call by the Grave, obviously, great card.
This can be infinite impermanence. If you guys did have any other options to like ensure that Gearsu goes through, totally feel free, it's okay. Or if you want to play this deck without the Gearsu engine, that's also more than okay. But this just allows you to like have that comfort knowing that your Gearsu will go through if you open this and the actual starter play. Or if you don't need it, you can just set it and it's another interruption on your opponent's turn. So triple Call by the Grave, it is really helpful. We don't like this card right now, but honestly, every every deck seems to be playing 55 hand traps in the main deck, so this does have utilities, so might as well just play it for this format. And then we're playing double copies of Trade-In, aka Kijikiri's Curse. This card says send one level 9 monster from your hand or face up field to the graveyard, draw 2 cards. It's literally Trade-In for level 9s.
Wow.
I wanted to play this at 3, but in testing, you don't really have this in like a level and then like a level 9 in your hand all the time, if at the same time almost ever. So like if you can search your level 9s, or if you can just like manage to draw this mid to late game when you've got a bunch of cards in your hand and you just want to see more resources to push for game, this just allows you to do that. Playing this at 2, it is draw power along with your Trias Hierarchy. That card, the level 9 common. I mean, like this and that, it's a super duper great draw engine. And then we are playing one more, which is the 1 copy of Pot of Avarice. This is the 41st card that we chose to incorporate last minute in testing. This deck runs out of resources relatively quick. If you are in a grind game, this deck doesn't do well past like turn 5 or 6. You run out of bosses, you run out of exceed plays. So like this allows you to continually recycle your resources, draw more cards in, put more of your bosses back in your deck so that you can have that grind game. It doesn't come up often, but we would rather have it than not have it and just lose because we ran out of cards. So Pot of Avarice, you can play it at 2 if you want to drop the Forbidden Drop Blitz. No pun intended, I guess. But yeah, I mean, this card's really, really good.
And we're playing one World Legacy Succession, so there's Monster Reborn.
Yeah, I mean, it's searchable off of your combo, so it's just a combo piece, but it's Monster Reborn that you can search through your combo. Really, really good. And then moving off to our Generaider spells and traps, we are playing the 1 copy of Boss Quest, 2 copies of Generaider Boss Fight, and then the 1 copy of Generaider Boss Room. And then just to round out the deck, we are playing the 1 copy of World Legacy Awakens. So what these cards do is Generaider Boss Quest allows you to reveal 1 Generaider monster in your hand, and then 2 Generaider spells and traps in your deck. You add the 2 revealed spells and traps to your hand, and then you put the Generaider monster on the bottom of your deck. You kind of just get to cycle some of your bricks so you can have some of your spells and traps. Generaider Boss Fight is really good because it says activate 1 Generaider field spell directly from your deck or graveyard, and then your opponent draws a card, which is great because it literally activates it and then triggers itself. And then Generaider Boss Room is a continuous trap that says when your opponent activates a card or effect in response to the activation of your Generaider cards or effects, you can discard 1 card, and then your opponent's effect becomes each player draws 1 card. So once again, you could chain to basically make your opponent's effects not resolve, and then each player draws a card, which will then trigger a lot of your Generaider monsters. So it's also beneficial because you get to draw a card too. We know that this sounds really, really strange because your opponent is drawing a bunch of cards, but trust me, once we get into the combo section, you will see that it literally doesn't matter. And then the 1 World Legacy Awakens. You guys have ever heard of IP Masquerena? This is IP Masquerena the trap. It says, immediately after this card resolves, link summon 1 link monster using monsters you control during your opponent's turn. Really cool. You just IP Masquerena with a trap. If you don't open well, you can search this, or if you already opened up the World Legacy Succession, you can search this so that you always have resources, and it allows you to just further extend onto your opponent's turn. And that is the 41 card main deck. Let's get into the extra deck.
Woo!
Starting off, we are playing the 1 copy of Link Karibo. This is just a level 1 monster. It allows you to just get your tokens off the field that Girsu generates. It is battle protection. Depending on your lines of play, you can go back into it. We usually choose not to, which once again, we will showcase in the combo section, but you just play this because it's free and it does allow you battle protections. The 1 copy of Link Cross, if you guys have not noticed, we are not playing 1 single tuner. This card is just an extender, and it actually serves a really critical point in the combo. So stick around for that. You just play it because it gets you a token, and you can just get into stuff. You'll see. The 1 Lib, the World Key Blades Master.
Woo!
This card's really, really
She's so good.
So what Lib says is you can only link summon this card if you have a World Legacy card in your graveyard. So normal summon Girsu, activate effects, send the World Armor, bam. Get the token, you make this for free. And then it says you can activate each of these effects of Lib once per turn. During the main phase, you can set 1 World Legacy spell trap directly from your deck, but it cannot be activated unless you have a World Legacy monster in your graveyard. So that's part of the combo. And then if this card were to leave the field, you can shuffle 1 card on the field into the deck. So it's got its own little like built-in protection. It sets your monster reborn so that you can get cards back, search more stuff. Like this card is the main combo center of the deck. We're playing the 1 area, the Water Charmer. I know that this has absolutely no, it makes no sense in this deck, but we have a side deck, which if you want to check out, it is on Patreon. So see what the spice is about. We're playing, oh god, I can't pronounce this name. The 1 Bujinki.
Bujinki Ahashima.
That's the guy. We only play this for back row decks realistically because because what this card says is that even though it can't be used as link material, once per turn, if this card is link summoned, you can special summon 2 monsters with the same level, one from your hand and then one from the graveyard. Their effects are negated, but immediately after, you just Xyz summon. So this is a literally, you go level 9, link away into this, and this activates special level 9 from your hand, and then special back at level 9 from your graveyard, and then you overlay into like a Calamities or any of your other level 9 plays. And then it says if an Xyz card that this card points to would activate an effect by detaching material, except during the damage step, you could target one spell trap card on the field and then just destroy it. It's cool. You still get to resolve your Xyz effects and you get to pop a back row. Plus, you just get resources back. This card is so free in the deck. You don't need to play it, but like it does come up for back row matchups, so we chose to play it at 1. As we said before, we played the trap version, but we also play the real version, IP Masquerade. This card is ridiculous. It says make unicorn on your opponent's turn. Unicorn, shuffle card into the deck, like everyone knows what unicorn does. And then we were playing the big boss daddy himself, BLS Blackluster.
Not getting a reprint.
Yeah, actually, this card, I'm surprised this card has not like skyrocketed in price yet. This card takes 3 monsters with different names, and if it was used with a level 7 or higher as its link material, your opponent cannot target it with card effects. Also, it can't be destroyed by card effects. And then, if this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can activate one of these effects. This card can gain 1500 attack, which is permanent. It's like forever, and that can happen multiple times. So you attack once, gains 1500. Next battle phase, you attack again, it's another 1500. Like this card gets really big. Can't be destroyed by card effects, can't be targeted, or it can make a second attack during the next battle phase. Or the last effect is you can banish one card on the field. Non-targeting, spot removal. This card is just insane. I know it's expensive, but this card is almost a must-have in this deck.
I mean, this deck isn't cheap.
Yeah, this deck, like for a non-needle fiber deck, like a tier 2.5 deck, like this deck is very expensive. And then off to our 9s, we are playing double copies of our in-archetype boss monster. This is Jormungandr? Is that how you pronounce it?
Sure. I think it's Jormungandr.
Jormungandr, that's the
Comments,
guy.
let us know. I think it's Jormungandr.
Generaider, Boss of Eternity. So this is probably one of your main win conditions. We like to focus on this card being a Generaider deck. This card's effect is that you can only control one Jormungandr, and then this card's original attack and defense become the amount of materials it has times 1,000. So I know that sounds kind of weird because you're like, oh, 2 level 9? Nah, watch this. This card says, quick effect, you could detach one material from this card. Each player draws one card, then each player that drew attaches one card from their hand or field to this card as material. This card triggers all of your Generaider effects by detaching as a quick effect to make both players draw a card, and then both players give this card material. So game 1, if you resolve this, you basically get knowledge as to what your opponent is playing. Like they draw a card, you attach a brick or something that you don't need or something you may have multiples of, and then your opponent attaches like, I don't know, a researcher. Bam, you're playing rocks. Now you know when you go into VFT, call Earth, the game's over. Game 2, this card is just absolutely ridiculous, and it can activate on your turn and your opponent's turn. Once again, combo section will show how busted this is.
He's a very friendly dragon. He's here to ruin your day.
There he is.
Rah.
Yeah, VFD.
Next we have Phantom Fortress Enter Blathner. God, comment section, go easy on us.
It is really, really cool. It says, once per turn, you can detach one material from this card and then activate one of these effects. Banish one card your opponent controls. Once again, non-targeting, just like banish a card for free. So like if you don't have the 3 materials and you need to get rid of a problematic card so you can't go into BLS, just go into this guy and banish any problematic card on the field. Or you could banish one random card from your opponent's hand. You could banish one card from your opponent's graveyard, or banish the top card of your opponent's deck face up. So you can get knowledge as to what they're playing also. So banish, 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 banish. Just wherever you want.
Here's a hot common kitty. Meow.
We chose to play the 9 lives cat because, as we said, you are kind of burning some of your boss monsters to make some of your bigger rank 9 plays. And if you do manage to get the Hela into the graveyard, you can just special it back off of this and then trigger the effects, like just like go plus plus plus. It's really cool. But 9 lives cat says that your opponent cannot target other monsters you control that were special summoned from the graveyard with card effects, and then you can detach one material from this card, target one level 9 monster in your graveyard or one monster in your opponent's graveyard, and then special summon it. So it's basically just a rank 9 monster reborn. Doesn't come up often, but like to have a searchable or like a utility monster reborn in your extra deck, like why would you not play this? And then to round out for our rank 9s, we are playing the 1 copy of Infinitrack Earth Slicer. This card is 2 level 9s, and then it says that when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can attach that monster to this card as material, and then you can only use each of the following effects once per turn. You can detach any number of materials from this card and then target that many cards on the field, destroy them. So this is really cool to just help you clear boards or to just pop a bunch of back row. But that rounds it out for our rank 9 engine. The last card in the extra deck
is Trishula, the icy dragon of misery for your opponent.
We unfortunately can't like abuse this card to its full potential because we are not playing 3 dragons with different names, but we are playing and easily able to access 3 monsters with different names so that we can just banish them to special summon this card from our extra deck for free. It's a level 9, you could target it with monstrosity, get 3 bodies on field, super easy, make some rank 9 plays, make your opponent draw some cards, trigger some of your effects, rip cards out of your opponent's hand. It's just really nutty. So like, this is once again just a huge combo piece in the deck.
Wow, this looks like a really fun time, your opponent, if I must say.
Speaking of fun times, let's go to the combo section.
Yeah, I've played against this deck. It's terrible and it's not fun. I wouldn't recommend it.
So welcome to our combo section. Here we are, and this is a lovely display of our little double-sided mat. This is the other side where they meet in the middle. We got the little Condemned Witch, we got the Judge Man.
Now the Forbidden Girls, and
Oh,
this is
super cute.
wonderful King's Robe cloth. So if you want this mat, just a reminder, you can get it at Imperium Duelist. Links in the description box down below, along with our discount code. It's wonderful. We love this mat.
All right, cool. So that being said, opponent, you want to cut?
I suppose. Here I am, cutting the deck. Wow.
We're gonna go first and try something. We're gonna see boss fight, Mech Knight Orcus Girsu, World Legacy Succession, called by, and Droplets. Wow, this hand's really, really nutty. Okay, so this is a really, really strong hand, but what we are gonna do, what I want to do, just to showcase like what this deck can do, is we have our dinosaur deck over here, so we're just gonna draw 5 cards as if like we were playing our opponent. Wow, that's really good. Wow. Wow!
Pop the baby, pop
Wow,
the
that's a
baby.
really good hand. Wow. Okay, I mean, that's unfortunate. Cool. Alright, we're going to start off. They have no interruptions, so we're just going to normal summon our Girsu, and then we are going to attempt to activate Girsu's effect. Girsu is going to dump our hand to the graveyard, and then after that, we will activate Girsu's second effect, giving ourselves and our opponent a token over here, but whatever, it's fine. We are going to link our token away into Link Karibo. I like to put him in this zone. I mean, he's a Mech Knight, so I might as well put him in the same column, right?
Okay.
And then we'll link. We're going to make Lib here, and then Lib is going to activate because we have a World Legacy World Armor in our graveyard. We can set our World Legacy Awakens. Now, usually you would set the World Legacy Succession. Because you already have it, though, we're just going to set the Awakens from our deck to our side of the field. And then that being said, I mean, this is kind of free. We can just activate the World Legacy Succession and then special back our World Legacy World Armor. This is set, by the way. Sorry, this is face down. And then this will trigger. Because it was special summoned, we get to add any World Legacy card from our deck to our hand. So we'll search our World Legacy Monstrosity. And then here we can convert our Lib into our Link Cross, and then the cool thing is we'll make Link Cross Chain Link 1 and then the Lib Chain Link 2. So Lib is actually going to just shuffle back this token that we gave to our opponent, and then the Link Cross will special summon another token. So we basically just swap tokens. A lot of people choose to go for 2 tokens. I like to just go for the 1 off of the Link Cross. I know we do have the Link Kariba over here in our graveyard. Some people will choose to get like another Link token and then tribute the token to get Link Kariba for like the battle protection, or just for an additional monster to like link with. But that being said, I feel like you just don't get the maximum value off of your field spell, so we want as many open zones as possible. So we're not even going to clog our zones with Link Karibo. We're just going to let him chill in the grave and just keep the 1 token. But we do have 1, 2, 3 monsters with different names, so we'll banish them to summon our Trishula, the Dragon of Icy Imprisonment. Now we can activate our World Legacy Monstrosity, targeting the Trish to special summon 2 level 9s from our deck. The first one is always going to be Har, because Har is an Omni Negate, and then the second one in this specific spot will be Mardell, because we do not have field spell access yet. So Mardell is actually going to activate to search us our field spell. So then we can get our boss stage directly from our deck to our hand, and we'll just move our banished pile out of the way. These are banished, you know they're banished. We can just activate our field spell now, and we can overlay 2 here into our Jormungandr over here. Nice little buddy. And what I really like about this like specific line of play right here is because we have the Forbidden Droplets and we have like a call by that we don't really need. We have another copy of the field spell in our hand. Plus we already have this one. So like we're going to activate the effect here, detaching our Mardell. And what this will do is it will allow each player to draw a card. Perfect. And then attach a card. Oh, that sucks. So basically our opponent is going to give us the second copy of Lost World. Now that we've gotten this from our opponent, we'll just give ourselves the Call by the Grave. Just to note, like, it doesn't have to be the card that you drew too, but like, just like if I was my opponent and I had 2 Lost Worlds, I would give myself the other Lost World. So now once this triggers and we add the materials, that will actually trigger both of these as well, because a card was added from our opponent's deck to their hand off of our effect. So that will trigger hard to have them send a monster from their hand to the graveyard, and then it will also trigger boss stage for us to special summon another Generaider monster from our deck. I typically go for the Hella over here just because, like, you don't really need the Reborn.
For the hell of it.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh man, I was desperately waiting to make that joke.
I mean, like, I feel like if I was the dinosaur player, I would just dump Rex to the graveyard.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like, this is fine. We'll just like, this will be their graveyard now. So they have 4 cards in their hand, and then over here, we now know what they're playing because they gave us Lost World, so we're just gonna overlay.
He's a big friendly dragon.
Into a VFD. We have 2 rank 9s on the field now, and then we could also like set both of these cards for more interaction. We have the 1 card in hand, and now what's gonna happen is we can just end our turn, and our opponent will then draw for their turn. They'll see another miscellaneous source, and then what's going to happen is that is going to trigger our boss stage. So when boss stage triggers, because a card was added from our opponent's deck to their hand, we will special summon a Generaider monster from our deck to our side of the field, and then because we summoned on our opponent's turn a Generaider monster, that will also trigger the other effect of boss stage.
Wow, that is nutty.
Getting us 3 Generaider tokens. But we're not done, friends. We're definitely not done yet. So what we will do here is, still in the draw phase, we can still activate our VFD. I feel like the best thing to call for dinosaurs is probably like fire, so we'll call fire. So now both miscellaneous that they have in their hand, they can't activate. And then we'll proceed to their standby phase, where we'll activate the Jormungandr again, detaching a card to make both players draw a card. Wow, that's freaky. And they'll draw a Foolish Burial, and then we just have to attach another card, so we'll just give ourselves a Misk, I guess. Which, once again, a card was added from the deck to the hand, which will trigger our Har, having them rip another card also. So out of the 3, I don't know exactly which ones I would go for. Maybe I guess it really doesn't matter. Like, you want to keep the baby, you want to keep this, so like maybe we pop the Miss in hand. So like, this is our opponent's hand in their first main phase, right? Like, they've got 4 cards in hand. We've got a 4K monster on field. We've got an Omni Negate. They're under VFD. We can link into whatever we want, basically making an IP or a unicorn on their turn to spin anything back. We also have a Droplets, discarding a monster so they can't respond with that. And then if they do manage to clear our boss stage, we have another copy of it ready to go online. So
wow.
I
There's
mean,
a
like,
lot of cards going on
yeah,
here.
I mean, like, this is really, there's a lot going on here, but like, this deck is super freaking cool. Like, I really enjoyed this deck. I mean, like, if we were to just draw for our turn, we get a freaking Lopter. Like, these all just like explode on the end phase, and then like, I mean, you just activate this.
If you didn't use it for the world, like,
yeah. It's nuts. Like, there's just so much that happens with this deck. This automatically gains like another 1,000 attack, so we'll activate the effect, draw again, discard again. Wow, super cool. Oh my god, we'll just add this. It's just like this card is basically your win condition. Like, turn 2, this and this are already game, and like, they're gonna what, set a card, maybe normal summon a card. Like, you can just pop it with anything else, just like reduce the attack. Like, it's just, this deck is so fun. I really enjoyed this deck. I know it's kind of a mess, and I hope we did like a decent job explaining it, but this deck really does take up a lot of zones. Like, every zone is full by the end of your opponent's turn. Like, this is really crazy.
Yeah, we tried to use one of our decks to show like what a hand would be like in our opponent, and like, would they have interruption, what would it look like, and like stuff like that. So we tried to make it a little more plausible, especially since dinosaurs are a really good deck right now.
Yeah, and this is like a really good rogue matchup too. I feel like Generaiders is one of those decks that, like, if you don't respect it, you could lose to it. So it's not like a tier 1 deck. It's definitely not in that like Adamancipator, Synchro, Eldritch, Infernoble Knight tier, but it's still a really cool rogue deck, and this is something that I really enjoy. Hopefully the ban list will make it a little bit more viable, and yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed it.
Respect the deck, fam. But yeah, that's it. We hope this was helpful for you guys. If you want to see a combo tutorial video for this, let us know in the comments down below. But we really enjoyed this deck, and we hope you guys too. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. We hope you had fun with us. We hope you have a wonderful Wednesday. Don't forget to pick up your new Topps Eldritch Field Centers in the description box. They're $10 a piece. You can just plop a PayPal $10 there with your name and address, and it's coming right your way. They're super exclusive. We have a very limited amount. Yeah. But we love you. You matter. And we'll see you guys sometime this week.
Bye, guys. We love you.
Bye.
Come on, boys.